Namaste, Swatantra Party. Today is the 11th of September 2020. The last week, the finance minister claims that the minus 23.9 GDP is the act of God. If something good happens, it's all the act of Mr. Modi ji, Prime Minister. If something bad happens, it's the act of God. Okay, we will take it as act of God because of the COVID you're saying. But touch your own conscience, all of you politicians in various parties or even the economists, so-called great economists who give the ideas for these wonderful politicians, that the economy was already in the doldrums even before the COVID came. The COVID was it was a blessing in disguise for you people to put the blame on the COVID, that the entire GDP dropped to minus 23, which is almost minus 24, we'll take it. But we don't know whether all these records, what these people are giving is all genuine or all botched up statistics that they are giving the people, because 98% of the population in the country really don't know what a GDP is. And even the educated people, I know of so many people who are educated with double degrees, they don't know any economics. Even I don't know any economics. Let me be very frank, I am not an expert on all these terms and all these things, but I know what are the basics, okay. I've been an industrialist, I'm an educationist, I'm a farmer, and I'm a trader. So I'm into business for the last maybe 40-45 years. So I know, not that I'm so dumb that whatever this government is claiming that, oh, we are doing great. No, they were not doing great. When Mr. Modi came in 2014 itself, the economy was really in a mess. Don't tell me these NDA people didn't know about it. They knew about it. They knew the banks were in a mess. But they thought they were too intelligent and they were biscuits that they could maneuver everything. No. If they had been humble and accepted facts as it was and tried to rectify it, they would have not seen this. They would have not faced this scenario. I myself would have written so many letters to Mr. Modi regarding the banks, how most of the bank chairmen are all corrupt. Chairmen, the directors, and the political nominees, the GMs, and at the branch level. Most of them would prefer to give loans for the corrupt corporates, okay. Somebody like me who is being honest, who will never grease anybody's hand, it's very difficult for us to get any loans. Even though we might do a very good business, we might run a very good business, we don't get loans. For example, education institutions, most of the banks refuse to give for trust. And most of the properties which are belonging to the education institutions, because in those days, I am talking about the Tamil Nadu scenario, that the trust only would get a GO, and then so we had to only start on a trust. Only now we have this, that companies and private limited companies can start colleges. So we registered all our properties only on the trust name. Now the banks refuse to give loans for the trust. For myself, I just want to talk about a few things regarding the educational institutions, how many of the institutions have got huge loans, like something from 50 to 150 to even 200, and some of them even 900 crores. For example, let me take about an arts and science college. I am in the heart of the city of Coimbatore. I have the space specified by the government, how much we should have, 3 acres. And another college of the same size as me has got a loan of 150 crores, but I don't have a loan even of 50 lakhs. So this itself shows how the banks are biased. The people who have got big loans are either having some favor, they have with the political party nominees, and they grease them and they get their loans through. But people like me who don't go to any of these people and who don't grease, we never get a loan. But I didn't need a loan I mean, any time, but then I always told the banker with whom I was banking, see, I don't have any facilities with any bank. At least give me something as an emergency. There could be some rainy days, so that I need about 1.5 crores facility. I didn't want more than that. I said, I will give you a property worth 10 crores. 1.5, 10 crores. But the banks were refusing to give. So I just left it. I said, there's no point in talking to them. I just left it. But then really the rainy days came now during the COVID time, that many of our students didn't pay the old fees itself. Forget the present 2021 academic year. They didn't pay the academic year financial thing of 1920 itself. Plus we had to get a lot of money from the government through scholarships. When we didn't have this, we approached the banks, and it's for the last 6 months. It's from March, March, April, May, June, July, August, last 5 to 6 months. They just take the papers and then they come up with the thing. We have sent it to the head office. They don't get any reply. If this is going to be the working condition of banks, okay, you take it that because they don't give trust, that's why I didn't get. I heard a lot of my friends who are running MSMEs, plus even some people who are in the farming sector, that the same story all these bankers say, that there is no instruction from the head office. So if this is going to be the scenario of the banks, don't tell me that the administrators and the politicians and the political bigwigs or the central government does not know what is the ground level scenario. If you are not looking into the ground level scenario, then it's very difficult for the economy to pick up and the GDP to pick up, and there won't be any development nor any production. You all are saying that we should improve consumption and improve sales. That's another sector where I'm sure why it is failing is, it's not just the COVID. Even before the COVID, right from the time of the GST, many of the manufacturers, especially if you see Coimbatore being an industrial district and Tirupur, the neighboring district, many of the manufacturers, whether it is on the textile sector or on the motor sector or in the automobile sector, there is this GST is killing them, and many of them have closed shutters. They say we don't want to do business. So the scenario in this country is not encouraging us to invest into business, because we are all fearing and we are just wanting to shut down and be peaceful at home. So if this is the encouragement that the government of India is giving for the manufacturers, then they are fooling themselves. The government is fooling themselves. These budgets are all a big scam. I can say, I can call it a scam, because for example, the latest budget of Nirmala Sitharaman, when first she came up with the big trumpet thing saying that the rich tax, and within a few months the rich tax was just taken off, withdrawn. I don't know what was the pressure, must be from Ambani and Adanis and all the so-called greasers of these politicians, that the rich tax was withdrawn and a waiver of rupees 1,65,000 crores was given. And suppose you divide that 1,65,000 crores, we will take it that 20 crore families are really in poverty line. 20 crore families is about 80 crores people. We have a population of 1.38 billion, out of which 80 to 100 crores, they will still get some money. The government does not have money now during the COVID times when the people are really in a distress, but they gave this 6,000 rupees during election time last year. In April, May, June, they announced this and then they started distributing. I would touch, all these politicians have no conscience at all, bloody fellows. They just talk like as though they are saints and that they are the perfectionists. But that 6,000 was actually corruption money, and this election commission was just closing its eyes and encouraging it. When you all give it, it is all perfect, but when a common man does something wrong, you all take him to task. Mr. Modi, I'll tell you, I really had a lot of hope that you would do something good, because you speak like that, you talk like as though you're spotless and that you're perfect and the Swatch and blah blah. what was the need for you to give that 6,000 rupees? And now that's about a big scam in Tamil Nadu, that all wrongful beneficiaries have benefited from this announcement. The real farmer is still in distress, Mr. Modi. The real farmer is dying because either he is not getting the price, or he is having a distress sale because of he has to pay the bank, and he doesn't have the money to withstand to store these products what he is growing, and the middleman is harassing. Who is the middleman? The middleman is again a funder by the politicians. The middleman with the money lender in the village is again a political person with a lot of ill-gotten money. So where is the system heading to? Are you there really for the common honest man, or are you there only for the Adanis, Ambanis and the corporate sectors? You are so much bothered about talking to the Google chief, Mr. Pichai. You are so much bothered about talking to the Facebook man. You are so much bothered about talking to all the big corporates of the world countries to invest into Mukesh Ambani. What is that you are so much bothered about Mukesh Ambani? We are reading articles where one of the Swiss banks has written that Mr. Mukesh Ambani owes 64 billion to only the foreign banks, and you say his wealth is 64 billion. So if his liabilities are 64 billion, how can his wealth, his assets be 64 billion? And what about the money that he owes the Indian banks? This is only to the foreign banks I am talking about, because many people don't read, so they don't know what is happening around the world. So are you fooling yourself? Are you fooling the innocent citizens of this country? You are only bothered about making one family rich, one corporate big house rich, and killing all the other honest citizens of this country. Do you all have a conscience, first of all, the way you all are talking and the way you all are boasting yourselves and hitting your chest as though you all have achieved something great? No. I will support this government wherever they are good. I supported Mr. Modi. I agree that we have to pay taxes, but it's not this Tuklak tax of GST. You know, we need to pay taxes because the country has to run, but the tax system can be simplified. I know Dr. Swami has been talking a lot about this tax and how the income tax has to be done away with. What is your big fat ego which is stopping you from taking his advice? Take his advice. If it fails, then you take him to task. He is your party MP, and at least I know that he has a lot of experience, and being an economist, I respect him for whatever he is talking. Or what he is saying, introduce the transaction tax in the banks, which is also a good idea. But you are having all the taxes, and you said GST is going to be one single tax in the country, but we are still having all the other taxes going parallel. So you have failed, your economy has failed. You are not an economist basically, and you don't know anything. You just faked that you became a chief minister of a state. What is your experience? Just talking cannot be the experience through administration. A big talker cannot be a good administrator, and a good administrator may not be a good talker. Okay? So just because you talk big and you are a great orator doesn't mean that you will be a great administrator, because you proved yourself in the 6 years. You have failed very badly in many fields, especially the economy, which is the backbone of the country. I agree with your car, I agree with your NRC, I agree with your 370, I agree with your 35A, even the demonetization, yes, but the way you implemented it was absolutely a joke, you know. And you talking about Swachh, but you raided all these ministers in Tamil Nadu who are the most corrupt fellows, and no action has been taken. So what example are you setting for the honest citizen? And you are talking about Swachh as though you are perfect, your party people are perfect. There are so many people in your party who are so corrupt, and you've taken all those, and you're talking about the Congress party which is corrupt, and you take in the Congress members who, jump from that party to this party. I for one will not entertain anybody. I am also a leader of a party as of now, but I don't have a great following, but I don't care about it. But then I stick to my principles that, when you say corruption, then you don't entertain corrupt people into your party. That is what his principles, and that is what you set an example. A leader sets an example to his followers. We just don't talk and do nonsense. Okay? Mr. Modi, it's high time that you realize that the economy is in a mess. Change this finance minister. This finance minister does not know anything from elbow to toe, and she talks nonsense, and her arrogance is one thing which is very unbecoming, and she has failed. She has totally failed in her budget, and I don't know if it's hers or you people are all, and you got stand by her as a gooseberry to take the blame. But then if I was in her place with that kind of education that she says she's educated, then I would just say to hell with all of you. I wouldn't want to be the scapegoat of something that I didn't do. If she is not the proposer of all those schemes, then she should accept it and say goodbye to politics and not play with the economy of the country, which is something very, very crucial, and especially in this COVID times when the country is in a big mess. We are going through a holocaust, an economic holocaust, just not the country, the whole world. But then the economy failed in this country even before the COVID came, and all you great leaders of the world are all cheating the poor public in the name of COVID. The COVID is not as serious as you people are posing it out to be. If it was serious, then what is the need for all these state elections in Bihar, and you're running the stock exchanges. The COVID is also there for the stock exchange people. How come you ran the stock exchange in the last 5 months when the COVID lockdown was there? So this itself clearly shows that your priorities are placed somewhere else, and any time where there is an economic failure, you divert it with a kind of commotion in the borders. I do agree that we have to fight the Pakistanis and the Chinese. I am no supporter of those people, and if you ask me, I can even use harsh words. I hate the Pakistanis and I hate the Chinese, and I will stand by my country for whatever it might be to fight them. But you are playing with the lives of innocent citizens with regard to the economy. The jobs are not there, people are jobless. We are running issues, but we are not able to pay salaries to our staff, and it's a very pitiable condition. I personally feel very bad, and I want to pay my staff, but then when I go to the bank for a loan, they are not ready to give, because I am ready to take that loss for 1 year, but then I know I can pay back the banks because I have assets to do that. But today there is no buyer. You might ask me why you are not selling it now. I don't have a buyer, and I am not going to sell at distress sale. So please, whatever you are announcing, check out whether it's being implemented. And these judges in these courts, many of them are impractical. If you talk about them, they immediately know to put a contempt case on us, as if they are all, like gods come from heaven. I recently spoke to a judge, and she has passed a judgment, and it's not being implemented by the state government. And whom are we to ask? I called her up. I myself called her up, because I thought she, being the person who has announced that judgment, she's responsible to see that it's implemented. But she says, protocol, you're not supposed to call us up, you're not supposed to talk to us. Then whom are we to talk? Do we get the Chief Justice? No. Do we get anybody else? Can we meet the CVC? No. Can we meet anyone else who will implement this judgment? No. Then I will only have to contact the judge who pronounced this judgment. You are not big, like the cat's whiskers, that we should not contact you. We are not asking for favors. We are only asking that you have passed a judgment, and the judgment has to be implemented. If that judgment is not implemented, then why the hell did you pass the judgment? That means you are not fit to sit in that seat as a justice when you can't get your judgment implemented practically. So don't fool us anymore. We are all fed up, and if you keep doing this, all you people in power, the bureaucrats, the judges, the corrupt judiciary, the politicians, people are as of now patient. But when people start hitting the road, which is happening already in the European countries, in South America, Brazil, people have started hitting the roads. It's just that Indian people today still are patient. But when you push them to the wall, it's like the tiger who's going, when you push him to the wall, he's going to bite you. So open up your eyes, don't be impractical, don't be fooling the public, and don't be thumping your chest for every small stupid thing that you're doing. You were talking about the vaccine. I've been telling from the last 4 months that the vaccine is a failure, the vaccine is going to be a failure, and that is what has happened in the last 2 days. The Oxford has clearly announced that the vaccine will take 2 more years to come, and it has failed. Okay, we know very well you have tried it on 200 people in our country and it was a failure, and you don't want to accept it, but I do have information from your own sources, from your own BJP party, from your own RSS, that your vaccine has failed. So don't fool us anymore. Please have a conscience, touch your conscience. And today is a crisis period. There are so many families. I don't talk about poor and rich. I talk about the honest citizens of this country who are suffering, jobless, salaryless. There is no business to do. Shops are closed. Restaurants are closed. Name it, every industry is in a crisis. Buck up. This finance minister is a bad omen to the country, and please, I request you to change the situation at the ground level. Yes, you have jobs to look after the Chinese problem and the Pakistan problem, yes, but at the same time you have a responsibility to answer us citizens. Thank you from Swatantra Party. Jai Hind, Bharat Mata Ki Jai.